It's the morning DNA for March 15th, 2021. My name is Aaron Dicer. I am the man of a single black shirt. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions, and we're here to find out what today is made of. And it's apparently made of stirring your coffee.
Particles. The answer is particles.
The answer is atoms.
Atoms, particles.
Protons, electrons,
neurons.
What, neutrons? Right? Neurons are in the brain.
Albatrons.
Albatrons.
Yeah, it's like an albatross crossed with some kind of a scientific word.
No, it makes complete sense. How are you, Danae? How you doing?
I'm doing decently.
Okay.
But I'm in a low grade mode.
Low grade.
You'll have to forgive me if I'm like, my energy is different today.
You may never have seen like low grade Danae before.
Yo, guys, it's happening today. Today's the day. Nobody panic. Don't panic. Everything is fine. The world isn't ending. It's going to be fine.
So when this, and by the way, good morning to those who we haven't said good morning to yet. Elizabeth hanging out with us. Good morning. Diabetes. Happy Monday.
Hello, my friends.
We are glad you are joining us. What I have to do in a situation like this is I have to kill that thing inside of me that's like, okay, now I have to be super energy to make up for Danae. Whereas opposed to it can just be a different tone show, you know.
Why would you have to be different energy, Aaron? Though, just because.
Just because my wife and I have this thing where
I don't want to talk about what you and your wife have. That's personal. It's personal. It's too early.
Well, we have this thing where when one of us is down, the other one like immediately clicks up, like because we both can't be down at the same time.
No, and so it's okay.
It is okay, but it's just kind of that human nature thing.
Are you down? Are you down?
No, I'm really not.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. I am a little distracted, though, so I am taking your role in that way. This is Oscar nomination morning. So, and usually, didn't expect that face.
Why would that?
Sorry, I'm not great at sarcasm. That was sarcasm.
No, wait, Oscars is the one that's okay.
Oscars is the great one. Yeah, Oscars is the big daddy. The big daddy, big mommy, big parent, whatever you want to call it. Okay. It is the one that everybody shoots for. But the nominations came out today, and so usually I will do like kind of a live tweeting stream of Oscar nomination thoughts, that kind of stuff. And I just haven't had a chance to do that yet because I haven't had a chance to really kind of figure out what is and isn't nominated. I know I saw the animated category. And I thought you might be interested to know that Over the Moon got nominated. I know that's been a big hit in your house.
It should be. It's so beautiful.
So yeah, Over the Moon, Soul was of course nominated. Onward.
Hey, I'm going to go to stuff that actually is interesting.
All right, I was trying to find the one part of it that was actually interesting to you. I wasn't talking about.
It was so fast. It was over so quickly, though. It was like, cool, let's move on. No. I wanted to say something that Blue Shay said on Twitter, who said, how can it be the morning TNA when it's 10 p.m. in Perth? Hello, 10 p.m. in Perth.
Well, let's talk about time zones, especially another big thing this weekend, the fact that those who practice daylight savings lost an hour of our lives this weekend. I love all
the memes that I saw blaming the government for it. It was my fave. It's just kind of a funny thing.
We've talked about it, but I don't know that we've talked about it on this show or Shoe, but I have family in Indiana, and Indiana for a long time didn't play the daylight savings game. And then they decided to start playing the daylight savings game. And you would have thought the citizens of Indiana had lost their minds because they were talking about how it changed the weather, how it affected their livestock. It's like we're just telling time a little differently, guys. Like the metaphysics of the world haven't changed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't notice it at all, actually. So
I didn't really either. I mean, it was a strange weekend for many reasons. I had a really busy week last week, and so it took me till Sunday afternoon to actually even recognize like the week I had been through. Like it was like by Sunday afternoon, I was like, oh man, I did it. I got through that week.
Like, you did it. Yeah. Yes.
I did it.
Yes. Yes, Slendamon, there is absolutely rubber bands holding my mic in place. Listen to the music. Do 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 do. Do
That
do
sounds
do
like
do.
something the guy behind you on the poster would be playing.
Yeah,
On like
for real.
like a
There's a
jug
reason
band.
for it. My connector stopped working. So if I take it off, my mic just slumps all the way down here. Doesn't work very, very well.
Yeah.
You did, anyways. You had a crazy week last week. That's absolutely true. I was concerned about you last week because you had your second shot to start the week, and then had the busiest week maybe that you've ever had of your job ever in that history of time.
Threw in a dentist appointment in there as well. Why not?
Absolutely nuts.
It
so
is.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. It took you the whole weekend to just like go, oh, I can stop panicking now.
Yeah, I think I kind of just shut down Friday night, and then by Sunday afternoon, I was like, oh, I'm through that. I think I'm starting to recover. And so, but I'm still feeling a little like, heavy week hangover this morning. It's just like, okay, this week's a little less heavy. I like that. That's nice. I told my wife, I said, I don't know how people who work in jobs like this, where you're working 14-hour days, 13-hour days every day. I don't know how you survive. I really don't. I wouldn't survive a 12-hour a day job where you just have to work nonstop.
Yes, you would. If you had to, you could do it for a time.
Nope.
You guys see my puppies?
A built-in puppy cam, built in right to the room. They're the puppy dogs. The puppy dogs' names are Almond Joy and Mounds. Mounds and Almond Joy, the names of the puppies. That's not true. They're actually Snickers and Milky Way. No. They're Whatchamacallit and Payday. Whatchamacallit and Payday, the dogs at today's house. The description of the puppies is the blonde puppy looks like it has a human face, and the darker puppy looks like like a scruffy dog. Looks like a scruffy dog face. So how am I doing, Danae?
Doing good, Aaron.
Thanks. So this is Down Energy Danae. She just plays with her puppies for comfort, and we just go on with the show that way. So what about you? Like, we've talked a lot about my like crazy week and insanity. What learning a lesson about interacting with the dogs during the show.
It's good stuff right there.
That is the good stuff.
Their dogs' names are Reese's and Twix, just so you guys know. The light colored one is Twix. The dark colored one is Reese's, although I believe we should have named him Wizard, like maybe some famous wizard, because he just looks like a wizard. But when we got him, he was just very, very dark, and he's lightened up a lot.
You should have named him Harry Potter, but Hair Hair.
Here's this.
And Potter Pawtor.
Oh, I see.
Harry
That's smart.
Potter.
Hey, let's change up our Patreon rewards, and we'll say when we get to a certain level, I'll get a puppy cam.
Like a permanent puppy cam?
A permanent puppy cam.
All right, fair enough. Where do you want to do that one at?
What do you mean?
Like 35, 38, or do you just 41? We're eliminating Dungeons and Dragons? Do people not want Dungeons and Dragons?
We're replacing Dungeons and Dragons with puppy cam right now. Vote in the chat. Vote in the chat. Vote in the chat. D&D or puppy cam. Vote now. We're gonna make a call. I have this special power because my energy is so low. Mm-hmm. I'm almost positive I can get Aaron to just do anything, even though it's changing the rules. I'm pretty sure.
Could be. You never know.
My weekend blew. It's been awful and sucky, but I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because I don't want to bum anybody out. But essentially, I struggle with really bad headaches, and I have had a really, really bad one, and I'm still experiencing it. So even though it's technically better, it's a lot. So yeah, pain management is a very serious situation, and I am in it, my friends. But I'm here, and I'm excited to be with you. I love Mondays. I love connecting with you guys and talking with you guys. You bring me life. And you, Aaron, because we would do this whether there are people here or not. It's just happens to be pretty awesome that we actually get to do this with an audience. And so for everyone on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook I really appreciate you guys.
JCD says, why not both? Diabetes says, what a hard decision. Jetsmet says, puppy cam. Breezy Lady B says, tough one. And I will just say to those saying hard decision, tough one. Well, hey, if you don't want to throw a vote out, you don't have to. Nick says, down vote. I love puppies, but D&D is greater than puppies.
Oh my gosh.
Caleb
It's
says
D&D for the win.
Craig says D&D.
Wow.
8417 says D&D where you play puppies.
Okay, that's good. There will be puppies in the campaign or in the one shot.
Elizabeth says both.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Did you expect that?
Nick says D&D doesn't poop in the house typically.
Funny poop story. Last night.
Funny poop story, guys.
My husband sends me this video from, so he went downstairs to go record his podcast and then play some video games and just unplug. Cause it's been a lot of emotional stuff has happened this weekend.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, I'm going to go downstairs. Everybody's in bed. I'm going to go unplug and chill. So he goes downstairs and about 20 minutes later, I get this video and he says, if you're awake, watch to the end. And so in his office is also our guest bedroom. And so we have like a queen sized bed in there and the puppy, and there's carpet. So whereas up here it's hardwood floor. So the puppies get the Zoomies, because they can dig their little claws in and they just
get the what now? Get the
Zoomies.
The Zoomies?
Yeah, the puppy Zoomies.
Is that the end of the year awards for Zoom meetings?
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be something?
And worst interruption to a Zoom meeting goes to...
That would definitely be an award.
We need to run the Zoomies.
We do.
That's like an SNL skit waiting to happen.
So anyway, they get the Zoomies and they're racing and they're jumping up onto the bed and then they're racing around the bottom of the bed and then diving underneath the bed. And it's just this epic chaos. And it's absolutely hilarious to see them. And they're brother puppies. They're from the same exact litter. We call them the twins, even though they look nothing alike. Same mom, different dads. And so they've been together since birth. And so when they both start to tackle onto each other, it's just, it's so cute. So they're doing this thing. And then all of a sudden at the very end, Twix just launches into poop position and just starts pooping on the bed. And it was instant. There was no pause between he just goes for it. And my poor husband, who's had the hardest weekend ever, is now dealing with the dog that's trying to poop on the bed. My poor husband.
Hey man, when it hits, sometimes you just gotta go. You get the Zoomy poopies. It happens. It's gonna happen. There's a lot of surprise that I never heard the word Zoomies. I've seen dogs go crazy. I'd never heard that phrase for it. So that is an actual phrase that people use. The Zoomies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe it's just because I grew up north. Maybe we don't have that up there.
Breezy Lady B says she wants to see this video.
Of course.
No, since that's my mother, it's very easy. I will forward it to you now. My husband's instructions were, please watch to the end. And I thought something incredible was going to happen. Something magnificent was going to happen.
It's like one of those scare videos. They were watch intently, and then a face pops on and screams or something. It's like that, but for dogs messing up your guest bed.
Yeah, who's gonna want to stay in my guest bed now? I think no one's coming over for a while and wash those sheets. Wash the blanket out.
Well, you've only told the story publicly, so there's
no one's gonna clip this.
No one will know. No one will ever
clip
know
it and share it as soon as they find out I'm gonna have a guest. Anyway, it's been a weekend. I'm glad for it to be done. I have an appointment today with my doctor, my bone doctor, and it's always something is just out in my neck, always. So I'm just going to go in, a little quick peep, pop, boop, which is pretty much all it feels like. And then I will be done. Oh, and also I'll do a couple things. Guys, listen to this. Check this out. Are you excited for this? Get ready. No, I still don't have any energy. I have one place to go today. And then my taxes are done.
Oh, nice.
Guys, no. That's way less celebration than Aaron, go.
Too much celebration or too little?
I got my taxes done for.
Yippee! Hooray! Today did our taxes, and it's only March 15th. That's a month early. Hooray! Woohoo!
Such an adult. Look at me go.
It's amazing. Well, I know for a long time that definitely was a thorn in your flesh, the whole tax thing. So that's got to feel pretty good.
I am not designed for paperwork.
Yep. Yeah, we're those people. Our taxes are done like February 1st, and that's just because usually we get something back and we want it quickly. So
Yeah.
and that has to do with just putting a bunch in during the year. We probably use it as a savings account, and we shouldn't. You should never use taxes as a savings account. That's just a bad idea.
Well, you do what
Put
you
it in
have.
your own savings.
We literally 2020 was a really crazy year 2019 was a really crazy year for me because I had most of the year I was a self contractor, which is what I have been for like the last 6 years. But I had all these different projects, and so my paperwork got really complicated. And then on top of that, you add in like just a sprinkling of this over here. And so I got like brain overwhelmed. And it was the first year I had ever had a credit card. 2019.
Yeah.
I've never had a credit card before 2019. And that really freaked me out because what ended up happening is I would like get something for one of my businesses and then it would get paid off and I didn't know how to it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was too much for Danae. So I didn't do my taxes for 2019 until, remember when we were just celebrating, you guys? That's what we were celebrating. You thought it was 2020.
I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to say
guys,
anything.
No. We're celebrating that I got my 2019 taxes done.
I was not going to say anything because I didn't want to go into that, but yeah.
But we also got our 2020 taxes in too. So
well,
we did.
Good.
We actually did all of them at the same time. We're caught up.
You're caught up.
So hey, Aaron, you get to take it for a quick second because my babysitter just messaged me, and in the off chance that it's something to do with Iris, I need to call her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Greg has a question that's gonna send me on a rant anyway, so I get to rant for a little bit. But Greg asks, are you guys, either of you, on Clubhouse? It is a newish app. And the answer is no. And the rant is because it's iPhone only. And I don't understand why app companies still do this. It makes no sense to me. There are more Android users than Apple users overall. And so I don't understand the iPhone only kind of thing. And there's partly a frustrating thing to it as an Android user where it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess you don't care that I ever even try out your app. And then there's another thing. I'm like, fine, go do your own thing. So Danae giving the thumbs up on the phone call. So I think everything is okay. So anyhow, anytime you want to get into a conversation about mobile operating devices, I'm more than welcome to do that and to compare them. I'm not a great comparer. I've never used iPhone. I've just seen what my friends who have the Apple operating systems use, and I'm very happy with my decision to be on Android. So hey, if you don't want to give me your app, don't give me your app. Let's see. No clue says Danae's babysitter called so we can look at the puppies. Yeah, they're very interested in what's going on that phone call as well. Seems interesting. Diabetes says Apple is whack. Jetsmet says Aaron hates Apple rant. Listen, I try to be very careful not to indicate that I hate Apple because I do believe it works for some people. And I know people specifically who genuinely understand the difference in the operating systems and choose Apple because it works better for them, because it's a more all-encompassing, walled garden kind of approach. They don't have to worry about anything. I like a little more ability to change things, to do different things. So, generally I go with the Android. And Doc says, I only use Apple because that's all I know. Doc, you are not alone. There are people who only use Android because Android's all they know. And honestly, the further we get, the more kind of similar they become because they take each other's best features and just kind of steal from each other. So, yeah.
Are we talking about Androids and Apple?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite thing about Android and Apple, you might have already said it, is when my husband's like, oh, I got this new feature. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that for 2 years. That's my fave.
I was kind of I didn't want to imply it was more one way than the other, but it does feel like Apple kind of catches up to Android with a lot of the customization features, those kind of things.
I do really like how secure they are, though.
Yeah.
I do like
Androids, you mean?
Anyway, so that was my person calling. I just have to say, I so appreciate my friend Patty. She watches just a handful of kids at her house. So Iris gets a lot of like personal attention and stuff. The very first thing she says is, everything's okay. Iris is okay. I am okay. Everything's okay. I was like, I love that. Nice. Thank you. And then she's like, Iris wants to tell you something very important. And then Iris gets on the phone and tells me that she went potty in the potty. So
that was my first thought.
Really?
Yeah. Can you believe that? My first thought was that Iris had a potty breakthrough and that she needed to tell you.
You were right.
Yeah.
She was so excited about this situation, and I was too. So then I got to do like the whole like overreacting excitement situation. That's why I wanted to give you guys a thumbs up so nobody was over here worried. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Slab says, daughter compared Apple to a clean-shaven man, Android more of a bushy beard. I don't even understand that, but okay.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's like the embodiment of them.
Well, like Apple is like it's like sleek and simplified and like, but Android you can do a lot of customization with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm fighting all sorts of urges.
I know
to continue this rant. We should probably just get into the show, right? Like we should probably shoe a dough. You want to shoe a dough?
Let's shoe a dough.
All right, let's shoe a dough. We're gonna get into it. We'll start with the FAQs and then we'll get to the DNA and U. The FAQs you may think stands for frequently asked questions. You would be wrong. FAQ in this case stands for friendship application questions. Danae created a friendship application a while back. And now she's putting you through it to see if you can be her friend. She's also currently looking for it, I believe.
I was just thinking to myself, where did you put that?
Well, if we can't find it, we can hold it off till next week.
No, I'll find it. It's just around here somewhere.
Fun. Hey, you found it.
Did it.
Good job.
Guys, it's one of those days, guys. My brain hurts so bad. All right. I don't remember what the question was last time, but is this the last question?
I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. Nope. Second to last question. Do you have other married friends?
That's it? Is that a yes or no?
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Still more words for me to read, Aaron.
Okay.
See?
Yep.
Look, there's words here. Gotta read them. Because pretty much it's a 2-for-1 situation. If you're friends with me and you're in a relationship then you're in a relationship with my husband too. What are your thoughts? Wow, look at me being all like thoughtful and stuff.
Yeah, I think you know my opinion on this. We were both very clear about that from the beginning, like that our friendship was awesome and we loved hanging out with each other, but it was, not just the two of us, there were 4 of us. And so I think within the first week of knowing each other, we got together to play cards and hang out with the spouses and have a good time. So yeah, I'm totally on board with that. That's a big yes for me.
I think it is important. If you're friends with somebody who has a spouse and they never want you to meet their spouse, that'd be kind of weird, I think.
Yeah. Just
strange.
I'm trying to think of legitimate reasons why you would want a separation between friends and marriage. And for me, that's very difficult to come up with, but I don't want to dismiss or belittle unique situations where maybe there is a valid reason for that. I don't know.
I think my point here is like, if you're going to be friends with me, come with the dude.
Right.
If you're not okay with that, probably isn't going to work out for us. And I think it's interesting that the whole first part of this was just so goofy. Let's just take a quick gander back to the beginning. Question number 2 here, using nope. If you had to choose one of the following, what would it be? A porcupine, a sea turtle, a velociraptor, or a pigeon? We've pivoted from really silly questions like that to like, I also have a husband. Is that okay with you?
Is that okay? Because if not, I have a really big decision to make.
I have a really big choice here. We're either going to be friends or not. Oh, what's in my pocket?
It Don't Connect says, I have friends that were supposed to be married in September due to pandemic. They've pushed it back to 2022. Does that count?
Counts. 100%.
Nick says, ew, husbands are gross. LOL.
Here's what was in my pocket. An eyeball.
Oh, you can't make the eyeball look at the camera.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, gravity. Buoyancy. We'll keep it from happening.
I guess that's a story for another day.
So that bulkhead says marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
I also like the comment just after that. I don't know why, but I thought this was something Danae made in middle school. It don't connect. Nope. Nope. I made that while I was working at a job, and I was bored out of my mind, and we had access to printing paper and all kinds of office supplies. So when I got bored, I got crafty, and one of the guys that was there and we just cracked each other up. And so one day I was like, I'm gonna make a friendship application question just to be silly. And so I created this entire thing, and we've made our way through almost all of it, but the last one.
Oh,
so
coming to the end.
Come to the end.
Lolly has a reason, maybe. Reason number one, as a couple, you're plotting to fake his death and claim the insurance. That valid reason not to get your friends involved with your spouse if you're contemplating murder.
Thank you, Lolly.
Thank you, Lolly. I appreciate
that's exactly
that.
it. Mm-hmm. But that's it for today. We're pretty much done with the FAQ, yo.
Tyler pops in and said, "Good morning. I got vaccinated. Yay! Now you are fighting the battle against COVID and hair, and we appreciate that." So,
have you ever had anything waxed, Aaron? Like on your body ever?
No.
It's so painful.
I imagine it is. I mean, I've plucked nose hairs. Like, I know what it feels like to have hair ripped, from your body.
Yeah, it's awful.
I imagine waxing is even worse because it's like 100 hairs at the same time kind of thing. Or maybe that's better. I don't know. It could just be like a more general pain as opposed to that like really piercing single hair pain.
It's so much all at once that your brain can't process it. So, and then it's like this burning sensation that just won't go away. And then it's like, you remember in that one movie where it's like, where there was like somebody that used the Jedi mind power force thingy, and there's this movie about it, and
Star Wars?
Yeah. And then there's this moment when like a planet dies, and there's like this famous line, it's something like, it's as if thousands and millions and they're all gone. That one? Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do. Yes.
It's like
as
that,
if 1,000 voices just cried out into the void and no longer existed. Yeah.
It's that, but hair follicle.
But for hair.
Yeah.
Could you wax my Tatooine, please? I'd like the full Tatooine experience, if you don't mind. Oh, mercy. No. Star Wars themed waxing place now has to exist.
Oh my gosh.
All right, you ready to get into the DNA in you?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. We are going to do a D topic, an A topic, and a U topic. So the D topic is Danae. The A topic is me, Aaron, and the U topic is you. So you will just need to put any question or topic you want us to talk about with the letter U at the beginning, and we'll get to those after our individual topics. But we'll kick it off with you, Danae.
I just wanted to make sure that this was done correctly. Thank you, Nick, who says, as if millions of hairs cried out in terror and then were suddenly silenced.
So good.
Lolly says, Danae's FAQ, did you ever see that movie with the war and the stars and the laser words?
Oh, mercy.
Oh my God. Okay.
What's your D topic? Danae.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. There's so many things going. I'm sorry.
No, you're
okay, and also I didn't format my question correctly today. Give me some grace. My brain hurts so freaking bad.
You're great.
Okay.
You're great.
Today is everything you think is wrong day.
Okay.
This is an actual day, and I want to tell you guys about it. It is, in fact, okay to be wrong. In fact, probably already are. Okay, you for sure are. Here's the day, March 15th, which is also my brother's birthday, by the way. If y'all are on Twitch, go follow Kafidget. I'll try to pop up his, or if somebody's in there and wants to link to my brother, that'd be freaking sweet. But he's Fidget, and he does woodworking on Twitch, and it's his birthday today. But anyways, it's also everything you think is wrong day. A day where decision making should be avoided. Sounds like my kind of day. As your thoughts are, according to the founder of this holiday, wrong. It is also a day created for some people to realize that they are not always right. While starting a conversation, one might want to avoid using the word I think. The observance may be a time for all to contemplate our own lack of knowledge, and it is okay that one does not know everything. And if there is a need to feel as if you do, hold on. Tomorrow will be here soon, and then you can once again know everything tomorrow. I think the idea of today is to try to acknowledge and be aware of how many times in one day you assume that you know what is right, or you think that you know the best, and try to actually not say it at all, even if you know, just to sort of challenge yourself to get into that mentality that we're not always right. Even when we know we're right, we're not always right. And this happens so much in my relationship with my husband, where we'll both remember something so different. And as the years have gone on, I've really challenged myself. Like, for example, something will be moved in the kitchen, and I'll immediately assume that it's him. And then I'll remember later on, nope, that one was me. And then I've got to go back and be like, dude, it came down on you, and that was all on me. And so I've genuinely worked for years at trying to, my first instinct being, that could have been me, or I could be misremembering something. Because I often misremember stuff, and that just kind of is part of it. And then there's some things I think we all can know are fact, like 1 + 1 is 2, stuff like that, that it's like really difficult to argue against. But even still, sometimes not saying the answer means that maybe somebody else can say it, or somebody else has an opinion that they can bring to the table instead of you being the one that presents the correct information. So I think the idea of today is to try to be collectively aware that sometimes when we say that we're right, or we present information in the I'm right way, it actually stifles relationship and conversation. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. So that's my challenge for myself today. And I wanted to bring that to the table.
Whew, yeah, this is a big one for me. Much of my life has been trying to figure out the difference between having strong opinions, having beliefs, having things, trying to know as much as you can, being curious about the world around you, and understanding that, number one, everyone is different. Everyone experiences things differently. There's so much more subjectivity in the world than I would initially believe, because I want everything to be black and white. I want everything to be true or not true. And that is just not the case in so many different ways. You mentioned math, sciences. There are things about our world that appear to be objectively true, that appear to be set in stone. So for me, the other part of this equation that we've talked about before is, if it were me, I would want to know what you believe. I would want to know if you disagree with me. I'd want to know those kind of things. And so I feel like everybody wants to have those conversations. And so then I will present, here's what I believe is true, those kind of things. And for some people, that's, that feels like conflict. It feels like, this is what I'm understanding, feels uncomfortable when there's any kind of discussion of differing viewpoints. And so a lot of my life has been trying to figure out how to be me, and also how to respect that most people aren't me. And I think that's true for most of us. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think there are two sets of 3 words that are the most important words you will ever say. One is I love you, and the other is I don't know. I think those are both really important things to learn to say to a lot of different people. So for me, embracing the idea of I could always be wrong is key to how I interact with the world. It's a part of humility, right? Understanding what humility is and what that means is difficult sometimes.
I think it's like, for me, it's so relieving to be around people who are okay with not knowing. I remember talking with you about how you talk to your children about God and heaven and hell and all that, the questions that come up for anyone who, is raised in the church and who is a youth trying to figure out like what anything means and, how do you answer those questions and things like that. And I remember you being like, well, I'm going to tell them I don't know. And I was like, oh, you can do that. Holy crap. You can say you don't know. That's
very freeing.
That's a freaking option. And you know what? It's such a relieving option because we don't know. And even though it might be uncomfortable because I think as people, we want to have knowns. We want to have something solid. It helps us to put our feet down and feel confident. But oftentimes there's just so much that is up in the air. And I think as a people, we've all experienced that really heavily in 2020 with everything happening with COVID. I think there's some there's some stuff that's been happening just globally that makes everybody feel the big, I don't know. And that can make a lot of stresses in life. So you want to find the things that you do know, the things that you can rely on. And they oftentimes really seem to be more like, I can talk well about myself. I can, these are the things I can control. And it's all just your own personal self. It really simplifies things. Like, I know that I'm doing my best to love myself and my family. And if I'm not doing the best, like there's just certain things you can try to like come back to. But then there's these huge, big things like your job or where you're going to live or what you're going to do for the rest of your life, what you're going to be when you grow up, all that stuff. There's a lot of unknown and it can be really scary. But if we talk about that, the unknown is still okay. It's just figuring things out bit by bit. I think that's a really powerful thing to teach each other, whether you had it growing up with your parents or you have it now moving forward with friendship groups. So,
you talk about religion too. And, we're open about our faith here. I would consider myself a Christian. But it's one of those things where I've started to talk to others about, I am a believing agnostic, in many ways. Agnosticism is an interesting thing. People define it differently, in different situations. For me, what that means is I will never tell you that I know for sure anything about God, the world, creation, those things that are metaphysical outside of my understanding. I just don't have the omniscience to be able to have certainty on those things. I will tell you what I believe and where my faith is. I mean, that's what faith is, right? Faith is believing something that you don't know for sure. And so I think it's just such a better place to operate from a place of, I don't know, but here's what I believe. And because we all have to, you're right. We have to have foundations. We have to figure out beliefs so we have somewhere to walk. And there are lots of ways to explore the truth of your world. But I think if you start from a place of there is truth, which if you look at math, science, like we talked about, obviously there is objective truth. Where does that come from? Then you can have interesting conversations and try to figure out together through observation and shared experiences.
Somebody will always disagree. Like someone might say 1 + 1 = 2, and they'd be like, yeah, but actually 2 is this. And they may have like a really interesting scientific reason to approach 2 differently or call 2 a different name or something. And that's the hardest part also, is not feeling personally attacked when someone says that 2 is not 2. It's their version of 2, and maybe they can kind of coexist. Maybe. I don't know. Is it, it's an interesting thing. Anyway, I love that today kind of can disrupt that personal power. And it's not a day to be like telling the person beside you that they need to observe today. This is about you observing today. Not everybody knows that today is everything you think is wrong day. This is just a time it's just a fun conversation. It's also National Napping Day. So if you want to just pick one or the other. You'd rather just
take a nap?
Just take a nap. That's what I'm going to do, both personally. I'm going to need to.
Tyler says, Aaron, do you think that stems from being a pastor's kid and having belief unintentionally forced upon you? No, not in this case. I know that's true for some people. I genuinely never felt faith was forced upon me, even as a pastor's kid. It was just part of my world. And so maybe there's a subconscious, environment that we all deal with growing up, for sure. But it definitely wasn't a situation where it was like, this is what you're going to believe. It was very from the time I can remember, it was very much about, what do you believe? Let's have conversations. Let's talk about it. So part of the reason I am how I am is because I lived in a very faith forward, Christian forward, I should say, environment, but was allowed to really process and think. And so I took ownership of a lot of my beliefs very early on, and they became mine. Some of those beliefs have changed over the years. Some of those beliefs have stayed strong over the years. I think that's part of, again, the humility of knowing you don't know. And I am frustrating. People in my life get frustrated because I will change what I believe on things because I continue to process and think and know that
I
I'm
think
not
that's important
sure.
though. I mean, that's really, really important to be
Yeah.
able, like, if you're in a situation where no one will allow you to change your mind from the time you're a child, that's pretty weird.
I've heard those stories, and I know that
No?
that's true. Not
Oh,
not
it's 100% true. Like,
and
it
not just
happens.
in a Christian home.
The word,
You know,
yeah.
there are
Oh
plenty of
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah,
environments
yeah.
where parents are very much, this is the truth, this is what you will believe, and you don't, you know, we banish you if you choose to believe differently. And I
Mhm.
feel so horrible. I think it's such a difficult thing to escape from, in many ways. But I didn't experience that, honestly. So at least, again, as far as I know, and who knows how the brain works and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
And there's some really good comments up in here.
yeah, throw them up.
I don't want to throw up. I did that yesterday.
I didn't say throw up. I said
Oh.
throw them up
Okay.
in the air like you just don't
I'm
care.
doing it. That's what I'm doing.
No, that was more throwing them up in the air like you did care. I wanted to see
I
like
do.
you just didn't care. There you go. See, now you're getting it. That's what it means.
It Don't Connect says, I've learned to say I don't know a lot because no matter how much I know about an animal, someone will always ask something I don't know the answer to.
Hmm.
Isn't that interesting?
I do this thing, and I've tried to get better at it. But I will make stuff up all the time. When people ask me stuff that I don't know, I will make up a reason. Now, granted, half the time that reason turns out to be right. Like, there are things you can figure out just by thinking about it. But I need to stop doing that, because there is an element of arrogance there. Like, there is an element of non-humility there to be like, oh, I can figure this out, even though I haven't really looked at how others have researched it or those kind of things. I'm really good at what's the game where you make up the definitions of
Oh,
words?
Balderdash?
Boulder Dash. Yeah, I'm really good
How
at
did
the
I
game
know
Boulder
that?
Dash.
I can't think of my own name, but I can think of Balderdash.
So, yeah.
Breezy says, as a manager, one of the things I learned to say when one comes to me for advice or with issue is, what do you think? That's an interesting way to potentially celebrate today.
That was one of the first things I learned as a movie critic was when people ask you, "Hey, you're a movie critic. What's your favorite movie?" What they really are saying is, "Hey, you're a movie critic. I want to tell you my favorite movie, but I'm going to ask you yours first."
Yeah.
And so I would immediately now say, "What kind of movies do you like?" And boom, they're not. They genuinely didn't care about. And I'm not trying to say they're not
No.
caring people, but that
They're being,
wasn't the point
yes.
of the conversation.
No.
And so I think giving people permission to tell you their own thoughts, their own beliefs, is a
Mhm.
really good strategy in a lot of situations.
Amanda on YouTube says, I also absolutely don't understand people who don't want to learn and don't want to have conversations with people that have different points of view. I think there's
Yeah.
just a lot of fear. There's a
Fear.
lot of
That's
fear
exactly what I was going to say.
of somebody saying that two is different means that your entire foundation is going to be undone. And I think if you can find somebody in your life, and my hope is that everyone does, who you can have a safe conversation with and question some of your own things and allow yourself to feel shaken in a safe place, it really helps you to kind of get down to the core of who you are in a way. And I've had many, many shaky conversations with a lot of different kinds of people. And I'm really thankful to be able to say that because not everybody can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what it means is that I always felt more comfortable, I feel like, to have harder conversations with people because it doesn't shake me up. I
Yeah.
feel empathy for people, or like I want to help people. And so I'll do problem solve conversations with people. But if someone else's life is like, falling apart and they're looking for some help, and I can kind of give them help while also not letting everything I believe get shaken up, like, then that's what it's about. It's not about like only helping people or only being around people in your little sphere of comfort. I mean, there's a lot of hurting people outside of your sphere of comfort. And if you ever are outside of that sphere and there's someone on the side of the road that needs help, maybe you're that person that can kind of provide that for them. And if they say something that changes everything about what you believe, I mean, isn't that sometimes really beautiful and not
I think
scary?
so. Yeah, I
I
think
don't
so,
know,
but it's hard.
it's hard. It's really hard if you don't have people outside of that moment to support you. And I think that's why the internet can be so beautiful. I mean, it's scary too, but so beautiful because there are people who you can speak with who will help you if you have to like rethink something. Like, I don't know, and I'm thinking of thousands of examples all at the same time and being very vague, and I recognize that, but
there's an interesting thing too that happens the older you get, where you have built upon these beliefs, these elaborate structures of belief, and if you start questioning something that's down towards the bottom, like you start questioning one of those like cornerstones, you would call them, all of a sudden you are putting at risk an entire life of building, some sort of belief structure on top of these things. And it can be very scary the further down your foundation you go with saying, I don't know. Which is why I think it's so valuable and so important to just start there. To start with, hey, I'm placing this at the core of what I believe, but it's not something I'm certain of because I can't be certain of anything. So yeah, I just we really do in many ways worship certainty, and that is a difficult thing when we are not omniscient and we do not have all the information. So, yeah.
JCD says, we have really gotten to a point in society where people act like their viewpoint is the only correct one. And if you think otherwise, then you're an idiot. So a day like this is nice to observe. Miguel says, furthermore, I think healthy, calm conversation is something that gets lost. I see so many simple discussions and debates get way too cutting and personal, and that shuts the whole thing down. Miguel, I think that goes to what we're talking about with trying to find people that you can have a safe conversation with as part of this. And not everybody has a chance to do that all the time. Some people, we have the ability with young friends, and then some of us, I always had friends that were about 10 years older than me. I always did. So I feel like I kind of had an advantage to have a lot of really deep conversations early because they were just more mature than I was. And so I had a chance to kind of like go into some deep thinking. It also helped that I was friends with a lot of bohemian hippies. They're really interesting, deep thinkers.
I would also caution you
to not go hang out with bohemian deep thinkers.
No,
in the woods.
That's wonderful. I
alone?
love that idea.
Okay. Tell someone you do that.
I would caution. I think it was JCD was talking about everything is, cutting or those kind of things. I would also caution all of us not to put the rest of the world into the same category as social media. There is because of the algorithms, the idea that things that create conversation get to the front of your feed, whether it be on social media or whatever, that emphasizes those things you're talking about. The idea of I'm right, you're wrong is rewarded on social media. And so that becomes
drama is rewarded on social
right. And so that becomes a feeling of, oh, we're all like this. We aren't all like this. In fact, even the people who occasionally say something like that probably are more reasonable in a face-to-face conversation. I just want to be very careful that we don't start to see the rest of humanity as, a horrible place when what we're seeing is very much a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a small portion.
Oh, okay.
Of
a small sample size.
Yeah. So you're right. You're right. That does, and the more that gets put to the front, the more it does divide us, and the more it does do that kind of thing. But that's not. I still don't think that's the norm. I really don't. I just think that's the norm on social media.
Here's one more, and then we can go to your topic because it's already almost 10. Caleb says, embracing the doubt is the most important part of my faith. I think fundamentalism has pushed too many away for no clear benefit, and I can't love people if I'm so caught up in what I know for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the point of today. Whether it's about religion or it's about, professionalism, it could be just about anything. Today is just an interesting day to think that everything that you think is wrong. And what a fun thing, except for that I do have to drive somewhere today. So if I think that the directions to get there are wrong, I may not arrive on time. So I should probably leave an hour early, and then I'll just take completely wrong routes to get there and see if I can wind up there. I'll probably end up parking at someone's house and then climbing over their fence.
I know you're kidding, but there is the other side of this balance of understanding you still have to operate with what you believe is right? It's not just everything is wrong. It's also, everything I know is not certain, and therefore I have to operate under what I believe is right, what I believe is the correct directions, those kind of things. So yeah, you still have to have those foundations.
I just want to throw this out. I love this comment so much. I was like, I struggle with the giant fish thing in the Bible, though, guys. Like, thank you for that. There are certain stories that you're like, once you grow up, you're like, but was it real? Or
did Jonah really get a giant fish?
Like, hung out there for days? Like, I get it. I get it. That's probably not one of the foundational things, but who knows? Who knows?
Hey, if you want to get into a conversation about the Bible and the inerrancy of Scripture and the way people take that,
that's a whole different day.
No, not going to do that today.
We're not doing
we
that
are certainly not doing that today.
JC says, Danae says later, so I'm in Hawaii. Don't know how I got here. What a great accident.
Let's move on to the A topic. What is a keepsake you've kept of something that you made? Something you created, and it's a keepsake, and you have kept it. This comes up because, Danae, before you go start looking, you can start thinking first, but I found my poetry book. So I wanted to kind of show that today. So this is the book. You
didn't actually make the book, so that doesn't count.
I didn't.
You made the book too, the binding?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, holy moly.
So this is just a book, like a journal type book that I bought that has blank pages in it like this. And I'm just now noticing there's a number in the corner. It looks like I numbered this entire book. So there's 160.
Hey, all good poetry starts with numbering system.
Yeah. So on the front cover, I drew a maze, as was my want to do back in the day. This is about 30 years ago, the last time I did anything in this. But you'll also notice, like, it has the names of, like, great writers and poets and stuff on the cover. But if you look right here,
I'm not looking. I'm not looking yet.
But if you look right here,
is that a radio tower?
No, that's Dicer.
Pendant? Is that a pendant?
That's my last name.
Did you put that on there?
I put that on there.
Whoa.
As just a way to remind myself that there's something that can, that I can create, that I can do. So anyway, so this is the idea here. I'll show you one that I think is appropriate.
You gonna read a poem?
I can. This is truth.
This is the one where you're experimenting with trying to exponentially on the word. Hold on.
Yeah,
hold on.
Ahead. You'll get it.
Was it God?
Huh? No. That's like a huge God in 7 dimensions kind of thing. But it's 3-dimensional poetry, right? So you start with the word. If you look down, it says truth, TRUTH, like down the side, right? And then the first level is total reality underscores total humanity, as kind of like a definition of truth. Do you see those?
My God. Yeah, and then you go even more.
And then you go one more layer beyond that for the 3-dimensional poem.
See, this is helpful because it's visual. Sorry, podcast listeners.
That's true. You may have to look at this one. So anyway, that was the idea of the 3D poetry, but like the name of this poem was Foundation Found. The total poem reads, take over truth and lose. Rewrite each attribute, let it torment you. Ultimately, nothing, deity accepted, rules scientific certainty, or remains eternally stable. Trust openly truth and live. Hide under my attributes. Now it teaches you. So that kind of thing. is in here.
Well, keep going.
Okay.
I want to hear more.
This is not a 3D poem. This one's called Post-Empted, and you can see I capitalized POEM for poem, Post-Empted. Tabula rasa, mi casa, homegrown, GROAN.
This is sounding like a rap.
White makes right, WRITE. Might make nothing, I create. Not I, not my, not by inside the lines guide, I hide. Not needed, I cry. My mind spill will fill nil until borders lose orders, crash, create. Write down, give up what's left alone. Right, create. Voltaire can't share, solitaire for two. In lieu of addition, the mission, create. Don't wait, the fate of ink. Think through, thorough, whoa. Fingers hoarse, the course forced. Rite of passage, create. Losing space, the face race cased. Close, line, anti-blank. I think not pen or men, but him, not flawed, God created. So that's that one right there. Now, this was like 30 years ago, so
that's exciting.
Things I would do differently, things I would say differently, but
that's always the hard part of sharing art, right? It's hard for me. It is. Like I find there's some. In fact, the last question that we're going to go over next week, I would not have that question in here, and it's the end question, and I'm already like, oh, I'm dreading it. But we're gonna get there, and I'm gonna talk about it because it's just how things were when I wrote it, and it's different now. But that's really cool. You have had some comments in the chat on things that people have found, but I did want to point out Miguel's little jab at me. And I appreciate it. It made me laugh. Danae's daughter brings her a drawing and goes, oh, look what I made. And Danae says, the paper? Nope, not interested.
I did kind of feel like that a little bit.
Yeah, I was just being silly. Okay. Oh, you got some snaps. First of all,
nice.
Slabs.
Nice. I have another one about truth. Truth is
Sarah Door says, Dr. Aaron Seuss, everyone.
So
Doc says, Aaron's poet. What a freaking shock. Are you wanting to read more?
I think, well, only because this is really interesting that our conversation was about truth and how you define truth. And I'm realizing several of these are about truth. This one's just called Truth ? And the concept on this one is that it's POMO, postmodernism, POMO. Is the start of each line, POMO.
POMO came before FOMO, just so you guys know.
Yes, exactly. People play at petty games on ideas of nameless names. Methodology meets the feisty flames of the fires of chaos. Preachers preach opposing ways of truth whose substance seldom stays, mounted on lazy, hazy grays, only founded on foundationlessness. Physicians feel for friendly eyes, others fly the friendly skies. Must all truth be bound by lies out of fear of faction? Pleasing myself and nothing more, open mind to win the war, much the same result through every door, organized unorganization. Power lies in being loud, out-yell each other to sway the crowd, mixing message midst meaning, they're so proud, only I don't believe them. How can there absolutely be no absolutes? How can 2 + 2 = 4 and more at the same time? The friction of fiction erodes my footing, I'm slipping, what can I hold? Your advice, practice only my own truth?
Whoa.
So
freaky Monday. That's so interesting that we were literally just talking about that.
Yeah.
It even had the 2 + 2 = 4 situation. Guys, we did not plan this.
No,
we could not plan this.
We're not that good.
Okay. Let's talk about what people have that they've created.
Yes, let's do it.
Dio says, I have a Studio Ghibli themed clay spirit. Did I say that right, Dio? That I made in my art class in high school. The art teacher is near and dear to me and actually was whom officiated my wedding. But the clay spirit is about a happy 4 inches tall, and I always hide it in my house for a happy little surprise for myself months later, or a creepy surprise for my kids or roommate, but they've never found it.
Nice.
With a little sad face, like,
yeah.
I want them to find it.
Please find it.
That's fun.
Neat. Yeah.
I'm glad it's lasted that long. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just pretty much reacting to your art.
Did you think of?
There's 8s. We weaved a basket in high school. It's a piece of crap. It's falling. It's falling about, but it has other random junk in it. So I still have it, just so I have a place of other stuff I don't need. For other stuff I don't need. Nice.
Well, we live in very much a maker society. Is kind of, you talk about on Twitch, making a big comeback and being a bigger part of people's lives. So yeah, people definitely making stuff.
Slenda says, the Slenderman on Twitch says, I have 2 things I've made. One is my very first handmade product that is pieced together with 3 pieces of leather that I originally bought to make hats with. If I never took that jump to make a hose with, I never wind up down the path that I'm on. So for those that don't know, the Slenderman Twitch's streams on Twitch on the channel Moko Made, which is also in the chat. And he and his sister create all kinds of things. Right now, they're doing leather hookah hoses, but they also do like his sister Devin makes like earrings and all kinds of stuff out of silicone. Like there's these really cool coasters that I want to get someday. So they're very, very, very creative. They literally stream their workday in the basement creating things. So
nice.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Slenderman also says the other thing is a shadow box that I handmade. Or did you just say that?
Nope, you didn't.
Okay. That I handmade leather straps for it to strap directly to my wall and hold my retired hole punch. The punch has a titanium tip and brass receiver. I made enough things with it to actually wear it out and retire it. Pretty crazy to me. And now I see it every day in my office. Very, very cool. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. We had somebody make us like a leather, what do you call those things you put cups on? Coaster. Yeah, a little leather coaster for our one of our other podcasts. I just think it's so cool. People make stuff and very fun.
So I can't think of something I've made that I have in here. I have a lot of things I've kept track of from when I was little, but nothing that I can think of that I made. But I mean, I have stuff that I've got so many things that I've written. I literally have an entire shelf over there of just all my writings and stuff from when I was little. So maybe I'll pull one of those out someday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're ready for the you questions. If you are, Danae.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. If you guys have something you want us to talk about, a topic, a question for us, just let us know in the chat. If you want to put a you at the beginning so that we can see it clearer, we are wide open. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever question you have for us, just let us know right now and we will.
Right now.
How do you do that, Danae? Go ahead and get your you questions in. How do you converse in your Twitch chat while we're doing this? Like, I don't even see you
I thought you were going to ask how I made the sound, like right now. And I was like, okay, so here's what you do. It's in the back of your throat, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
and you're like, how are you talking on Twitch? What do you mean, how am I talking on Twitch?
Like typing. How do you, I don't see you type. Do you just think it and you have like I see your comments pop up in the chat and I'm just like,
I have my laptop right here and I have it open to my Twitch and I'm typing. I'm typing in my Twitch.
Interesting. I just don't see it happen, I guess.
I'm very fast at typing. I am a typing ninja.
Lolly says, you question, what's your go-to cheer up if you wake up tired, sore, and cranky? Parentheses, asking for a friend.
Girl, I feel you. So today, I'm going to take a hot shower and then I'm going to wear my favorite perfume. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try to like make sure I smell good. Because your girl's struggling today too. I'm sore. I'm cranky. We're in the same boat. Let's just.
I think the friend is you. If I'm interpreting this question correctly, I think she's asking for you.
No. Lolly's in this with me. Lolly,
she probably is.
Wait. Am I alone?
Shower. I think there are very few things like that. The like taking a hot shower in the morning.
Don't you say cold shower either? I'll poke you with my finger. Like this.
Man, there's something great about a cold shower. I'm not lying. But no, in this case, especially the sore part, the heat really helps me. So yeah.
See, she's in it with me.
We're all in it. We're all in it together.
Thanks. Caffeine's the answer on that one.
Ooh,
says Doc.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jose the Third says, when we can safely go places again, boy, it seems like we're getting closer, doesn't it? Where are you looking forward to traveling? I'm from Austin and my friend is from Nashville. We've wanted to visit each other's hometown since neither of us have been.
I'm going to the East Coast, baby. I'm going to go see some friends on the East Coast. I'm really excited about that. My cousin lives in DC, and I really want to go see my friends at Milkmaid, along with possibly some others. So
that's really interesting you say that. We have talked, my wife and I have talked about when Broadway opens, we just want to go see a bunch of Broadway shows.
Yeah.
We just want to go support Broadway and see a bunch of really cool shows. And
so we will spend a month on the East Coast.
What world is this that you're living in? Not only is COVID gone, like all responsibilities gone. We just go do stuff.
Yeah, we'll just, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be with Iris, but we'll figure it out.
But that's interesting you said that, because that is one thing we've talked about. I also want to go to Nashville. Lots of friends there that I usually have 4 trips a year to Nashville, and I haven't been to Nashville since a year ago.
Yeah, we're going to go to Nashville for sure.
So we'll definitely have a Nashville trip at some point.
Slab says going to Branson. It's like Vegas, but if run by Ned Flanders. Are you really going to go to Branson? If you're going to go to Branson, let us know. Maybe we can all meet up and go to like $7 City or something.
Other than that, we missed our 25th anniversary trip, so we will reschedule that at some point as well. I got a lot of stuff.
It'll be nice to just think like, oh, we can go do this. We also haven't taken a vacation as a family. We had decided, and so maybe the pandemic is our fault, but we had decided in 2019 that we weren't going to travel in 2020. So we weren't really like let down because we already had not planned anything for 2020. But now that it's past, we really want to go on a vacation together. And so I would love to go. I think we're going to go to DC. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
2022, we will be going to Disney for the first time with Iris.
Nice.
She wants to go there for her. Well, Justin promised her that he would take her to Disney on her 5th birthday. I wasn't part of that conversation, so I'm not sure if I'm invited yet, but I'm pretty sure I can go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then we will have, I think, fingers crossed, our first trip actually may be summer vacation if things continue to go as it appears they are.
Is that the one with your friends?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed.
You should tell the new people what you do every year.
I have friends from college, 3 guys that I traveled with in a college traveling group, and us and our wives and our families have vacationed together every summer since graduation. So
many years in a row,
many
lots
memories.
Of children's.
Yes, we all have at least 4 children. One of us has 5 children. So there are 25 of us that go on vacation together if you include the kids. That number is dropping, however, as our kids get older and graduate and kind of go do their own thing.
They're like, this is lame.
So no, what's funny is they are definitely not that. What's funny is they're like, we're going to do our own. And so like all the older kids are now doing their own, summer vacation.
That's really cool.
And yeah.
I love that.
So, yeah.
Here's a quick one from Nick. What are you looking forward to more this weekend? The Justice League Snyder Cut, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I mean, that's an easy one for me. It's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Me too.
Definitely looking forward to that.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to these MCU.
I'm just not sure whatever Zack Snyder did to Justice League can fix the problems I had with Justice League. They weren't problems that they were problems that the movie had before the movie even came out.
I don't really care about the Snyder Cut, just like I don't care about most movies, but like on that level where it's like, it's just not interesting to me. The reason that I'm nervous about this one though, is because there's so many people that have been wanting it for so long. It's inevitable that there's going to be disappointment. And I think the last thing that anyone needs is just some Twitter hate about it. Like the big letdown after it finally happens kind of. I'm just not looking forward to seeing
that.
All that
could happen. I think it's more likely that the people who pushed back against the Snyder Cut because of actions of some of the members of the movement who were rough online will, I think it's more likely that people who pushed for it are going to love it. I really do. I don't think that disappointment is coming. But what I do think might happen online is the pushback from people who felt hurt by the movement and the way it treated some people. And again, that's just some members of the movement.
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
Here's from Mariella. Hi, Mariella, who says, how is Aaron feeling after the second vaccine shot?
I did. I had the second shot a week ago today, and it didn't really hit me too hard. I think I had a headache the next day, but not a bad one, and not one that I couldn't even say for sure had anything to do with the second shot. So,
it was my fault. The headache was for sure me. Sorry about that.
Well, I don't know.
It was on a Monday. I was just kidding. It was a joke.
Oh, got it. So yeah, so
that's good.
Fully vaccinated and feeling good. So
vaccinated, you mean?
Nope,
and I also wanted to do a quick callback because Moko got hers in. This is of the brother sister duo from Moko Made. She says, my mom took me to a private glass blowing class for my 16th birthday in New York, something I've always been so intrigued by. I blew the most distorted, unusable vases I've ever seen, but they sit on my windowsill and I laugh at them every day.
Nice.
That's what it's about. I've kept so many things. I have so many keepsakes. Like my dad used to do glass blowing, and my mom and my grandmother and myself, we have like these little things that he's created over the years. And I asked him to pull them out after, oh my God, it'd been a long time. And I wanted him to make the centerpiece for our wedding cake. And it was like this heart with some flowers and birds on it. And then from the center hung a key, because keys are just an important symbol for my relationship with my husband. And it did not look the best, but like it wasn't something that you would take a picture of and send to a magazine. But I loved it so much because my dad spent the time to craft it.
Right.
It definitely crumbled apart after, I tried to keep it, but it didn't make it. But the key did. And I have that key over in my little
nice
closet thing that you guys can see in the background.
That's awesome.
So I love glass blowing. I think it's so cool.
My dad says, you question sunrise or sunset, all caps. Why? Sunset, because you don't have to get up super early. And although part of it depends on like if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, because if I'm on the East Coast, sunrise, but West Coast, definitely sunset would be my answer. Then you have a preference?
You mean like seeing it out in nature?
Define it however you want to.
Because to me, it's like sunrise means you're getting up, sunset means it's really close to going to bed. So which one do I prefer more? And I've actually been changing. I think I'm preferring sunrise, which is really weird to say.
Miguel says, genuine interest. What's your favorite movie? Well, Miguel, what kind of movies do you like?
Bravo. Well done. I wonder if Miguel set you up for that one.
I think he did.
I think he did.
Singing in the Rain if you actually want the actual answer. Jetsmet says, does anyone care about the Grammys? I do not. They came and went, and I didn't even look to see who won anything. After seeing the Taylor Swift documentary, I'm vaguely curious if she was nominated or won anything, but not enough to actually look it up. So there's that.
There's a lot of sunsets happening over in the chat.
Yeah. Sunset. Yeah, there's something really beautiful about sunset. So
I love the song Sunrise, like the Nora sings, Nora Jones.
Yes, Fiddler on the Roof.
So pretty.
Sunrise, sunset.
No.
Sunset.
No. It's
swiftly flow the days.
Looks like morning in your eyes.
One day is turning to another. I wonder if those two songs are related. They go well together.
No, it sounded terrible. Wow.
I'm not seeing any others. Are you seeing any others?
Nope. I mean, there's a lot of conversation about sunrise and at this point.
Nick says, what Oscar nom or snub surprised you? I don't know yet, Nick. I'm going to have to look. I will say this isn't a snub because I've known for a long time that's just not moving that way. But I really think, of course, Soul should have been nominated for Best Picture. It really should have. I'm glad that it's up for Best Score. I think it actually might win that. But it should have been Best Screenplay and Best Picture as well. And people they don't see animated films that way. They just don't usually see them that way anymore. So, yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go. There you go.
We did it, Danae. You did it. You got through the show and persevered.
I persevered.
Nicely done.
I instinctively want to apologize for my down energy, but I appreciate you
No.
guys just understanding
Yeah.
that some
Be
days are
you.
just harder than others. I will
Yeah.
be back in a full costume platypus outfit for you next time, I suppose.
Got room for one more?
Yeah.
Mariella says, you topic, Danae, have you ever been hit on social media?
I am thankful to say no, actually. I've only had are you thinking of that
You've
one
been hit on
guy?
in the chat of this show before. I don't know if that
That's
counts
not
as
I think like let me explain. I think what
okay.
I'm interpreting is like getting somebody who's in the DMs trying to get like sexy pics and, share inappropriate stuff.
Oh, you're
That's
thinking
kind of
like
how I'm
next level
interpreting.
kind of like
Yeah.
stalkery kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. My answer is no. I've had one or two stalkery type people that have tried to reach out to me. One was in radio days, and when he appeared at the concert that we were at, I was warned that there was someone that was overly interested in getting to meet me. And so my martial arts training kicked in and I snuck around. I sized him up and I instantly knew I could take him in. So I was very calm about that one because I was like, oh, I got that guy. So, but we just kind of like, oh, she's not available. And then he kind of left. And so that turned into nothing. And the other one seems to be the type of a person who is just really wanting attention and I haven't responded to them and they go through cycles of trying to reach out. And so, just kind of block them. And when they talk to me publicly, I did my very, very best to redirect them to like professional help kind of a person. And then I just decided to block them instead of just ignore them recently. And that's kind of all I can do there, but nothing really crazy.
No, nothing crazy on my end either. I did have someone hit on me on in my Facebook messages when I was on TV every week, and they said the usual, "Hey, you probably get this all the time," and I was like, "Nope, you're the only one." And I told him I was married and never heard from him again. So that's how that.
Yeah. So I just realized like Slenderman, and they're like, "Oh, you turn into a ninja? What?" Like. And yeah, I'm martial arts trained. Now it's been a long time, but I certainly know how to break your bones. So don't come for me.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Poor Aaron.
And on that note, poor Aaron. What? I've never come for you.
No, you did. You did scare me in the hallway that one time,
yes,
and
I have
beat
scared you occasionally. Yes, and you have thrown stuff at me many, many times.
Okay, let me tell this story.
You probably punched me a couple times, I think, too.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It's been really hard since having Iris. I've had to stop my instinct to like move back because she'll hit, and my instinct is to like defend myself, and I've had to really work at like shutting it down. But there was this one day. Let me tell you a quick story, and then we're gonna go. Okay, let me tell you this one story. So when we worked at the radio station together, we would actually meet in the studio, which was completely encased in windows. And the sun wouldn't even be out yet. And I get to work this one particular morning.
Sunrise, sunset. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were doing that again.
I only lived like, I don't know, was it 5 minutes away? I lived really close.
You were close.
It was really close. And I get to work and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And I bake cookies. And Aaron's like, hold on, you made cookies and didn't bring any cookies?
Right?
And I was like, no, I didn't bring them. And he's like, you need to go home and get cookies. And so I was like,
I like that guy. That guy, right? Like, how do you not bring him for your radio partner? Whoever that guy was, he makes sense.
So I jump in the car and zip back home because we have a little bit of time before our live radio show starts. I come back and Aaron saw me pull in and got excited. And there's what I will call a, like, what do you, like a corner where you turn around the corner and it's just like
the entryway is right next to the studio, but you go through the doorway and then you have to turn to get into the studio.
It was like a full-on turn. And so he was in that full-on turn area in the darkness. So I come in thinking he's going to be in the studio prepping for the show. No, he is laying wait for me in the hallway in the darkness.
I was not laying wait. I saw you coming in, so I was going to meet you.
You were laying wait for the cookies. I come around the corner and out of complete darkness, he goes, "Cookies!" And I just go, wham, wham.
Yeah.
I started beating him with my plastic cookie container. The cookies are inside rattling around, and it takes me a full 3 seconds to calm down because I was straight up being attacked. And he's like, ah! And his arms are up and he's trying to defend himself. I'm pretty sure he had bruises on his arm because I freaked out.
You became full on Cookie Monster.
So
that's for sure.
Yeah. Never sneak up on a ninja.
No, or even just casually walk to meet them as they're on their way in, apparently, because there was no sneaking going on whatsoever. How are you sneaking if you're yelling cookies? That is not sneaking.
It was a blind corner. That's the only way to describe it. And the worst part is we talked about it on the radio, which meant his children learned about it, which meant his children wanted to surprise me. And so for a year, I had to be I'm like, guys, I do not want to bust a tooth out of your mouth completely on instinct. Just don't come at me. I was just wound a little tight.
Every time one of the boys would have a loose tooth, we'd be like, so do we scare Danae to get that out?
Anyway, there's a quick story for you guys. Okay.
Well done,
I want to hang out all day.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
But I have to go. I've got to go see the doctor now. She's gonna stick my neck back where it belongs.
Stick your neck back where it belongs. Okay. All right. Chiropractics.
Yeah. She's gonna go and just whisper.
My neck has wandered over to my left shoulder. And,
you're not kidding. And I may have a rib out as well. So,
well, there you go.
Well, I highly recommend chiropractics.
Yes. Yep. And I think that's it. And
so ends our show. Get yourself friends who will bring cookies to you, even if it means you also will be attacked.
Yep.
Assume you're wrong today. Go find something that you created and wish you were a poet like Aaron. And we'll see you guys next Monday or Sunday.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And thanks to our patron supporters who support us at patreon.com/studiodna. Once we get to our next goal, we will be doing a D&D session. And we will make sure you guys are all involved in that and can see all of the fun things that are going to be happening. That'll be our next goal. But until then, make sure you're subscribed on wherever you're watching, whether it's Twitch or YouTube or Periscope, which is now Twitter, I think, as of today, right? Isn't it just Twitter?
Yeah, I think it's this week. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Periscope goes away this week.
Yeah. And also on the Book of Faces, we are on all of those platforms. We are live every Monday at 9 a.m. Central, and we do absolutely try to make sure we can go on at some point in time. But guys, it's just hard. Mornings are hard for mommies. Mornings are hard for mommies.
It's
but
true.
Once this kid goes to school, that's in 2 years. We'll be fine.
We love you, and we will catch you on the next Monday or someday.